Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by the last of a long queue of interviews. But I'm going to ask you different questions, I promise. Masood, congratulations tonight, mate. Just kind of your initial reaction to your win tonight.
Thanks so much. It wasn't the performance we were looking for, and it's just me being stupid and me not following the game plan and just jumping in. So it wasn't the performance we were looking for. We've got stuff to work on and then come back to the drawing boards and correct ourselves, I guess.
Obviously, look, I can tell you're kind of a harsh critic of yourself because you want to be a perfectionist and all that. But is it kind of, it's not really a worry if at this stage there's things like that? Because look, it's fight number 5. At least this isn't happening in a title fight or when you're in deep waters. It's kind of good in a way that this is happening now, right?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing we can take from this is that it's a good learning curve. We came back from Ramadan, we weren't 100%, and we continued on with the camp. Now we know, you know what, after Ramadan we can take a little bit bigger break, don't let my weight go up so much, and just be a little bit more critical with how we take things. And again, I was jumping in a lot, I was doing a lot of mistakes, and you're 100% right, it's good that we learned this early on, rather than a title fight.
Obviously an unbeaten opponent tonight, someone who I know you wouldn't have known too much about as well. Is it kind of them mistakes you're on about coming because of stuff he's done, or is it just solely you, kind of a little lapses of concentration?
Oh, solely me. I mean, he didn't do too much. Every single thing he did, like how he caught me and stuff like that, was through my own mistake. I was jumping in and I was getting countered. I wasn't thinking too much. I wasn't as sharp. I wasn't being, when I'm normally sparring and someone throws a jab, I'm like, let me make the miss. Let me see what... I think a couple of steps ahead. I try and trap them. With this fight, I was going through it as it was happening. I was like, I'm gonna throw a jab, and then maybe I'll see if I get hit, and I'll respond. But I wasn't thinking one step ahead, or I wasn't thinking, let me trap them, let me feint, let me do this, let me do that, let me throw a couple of jabs to the body, get his hand to go down, and then hit a shot to the head. None of that was going through my head. It was just all auto-tune, I guess, just mellow.
I mean, one good sign about something like this is that the fact you can say you didn't perform to what you believe is your 100% and still come out of a win just shows that you're still kind of on the level where we know you're going in the right direction. If you'd have come away with a loss or a draw tonight, things could be a lot worse.
100%. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm not the best person to ask right now because I'm going to kick my own ass, and I don't want to look shit on this as well, kicking my own ass, but yeah, I mean, it's a good...
You've taken tough fights of people with winning records, unbeaten guys, and you're 5 fights into your career. I mean, if you look at it from an outside perspective, I'm pretty sure you could say it's been kind of all ticks so far.
It has been all ticks, but, I have a certain standard that I expect for myself, and if I don't meet to it, I get upset, and, and that's one of the main mistakes which I do. So right now, more than anything, I want to go back in the gym and train, which is not the case. I shouldn't be doing that. I did that for my last fight and I didn't recover. So we're just going to take some time off now and then progress forward.
Yeah. Let's bring the big man in. We're going to have to do this up a little bit. He's tall, but he's not that tall. Was it a case of good matchmaking tonight as well, Stephen? Because it's a fight that Masood will, of course, learnt a lot from.
I think it was a well-made fight. We wanted to test him in numerous things, the weight, the rounds, and he is a guy who wants to be tested, and he doesn't want to hang around. He said this before in interviews. He doesn't want to fight 15 fights against nobody and then have a fight against somebody decent. He wants to be tested early, and the guy was a good test. Experienced international amateur. He's had 3 fights, obviously undefeated as a pro so far, and he posed some problems, and that's what you need to develop as a fighter. Going in and winning fights in quick fashion all the time. Okay, it's great, and the fans love it, and it's an easy night's work for you. But in terms of bringing you on to fight better guys down the line, the fight that he just had is perfect. So, yeah, matchmaking was good.
I know you kind of will only want to compare him against himself and you work on things in the gym at this stage in his career, but could you look at it and say there's probably guys 12-0, 15-0 out there who haven't got near the experience in a pro ring that he's got because of the fights he's been taking in it? He hasn't just been fighting, like I say, them knockover sort of guys. The guys he has stopped have been tough lads.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And I said earlier, there's not that many guys who have only had 4 fights who are fighting other guys who are undefeated. So we know how it goes typically. Like it's a story that we see repeated in boxing. Like you fight 10, 12, 15 fights against journeymen. And then maybe you get a title.
You fail at phase 1 of the step up.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've seen it plenty of times before, and we don't want that for him. Being matched hard, you're going to have difficult fights like this, but you're going to have learning fights like this. And hopefully, even though he's being hard on himself now, as he goes back and watches it, like he sees the mistakes he made, but the things that he did correctly as well. And then, you learn from that, you develop, you go into the next fight, a better fighter than you were before. And that's the name of the game.
So just final word to yourself. Still kind of the push for titles, be it towards the end of this year or maybe the start of next year for yourself?
I mean, we're going to test out Super Bantam. We're going to speak to our nutritionist, Sinead, test out Super Bantamweight again, see how it goes, and progress on forward from there. So if I feel good at Super Bantam again, good, let's push on. If I don't, go back up to featherweight, test that weight one more time, and then push forward. Either way, there needs to be a test, then there needs to be a fight. And that's exactly what I'm looking to do. I don't want to mess around more. I just want to progress forward and move on.
Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.